Alright, this is the Boston Sandy Shocks back at it again with this week 1 matchup. Unfortunately, my Elgato was not working for week 1, so we were watching back uh, CC's recording. As you see, the match is about to begin. So starting off here, I see his team, and I'm expecting him to lead a Screamtail with Reflect and Light Screen, so I'm opting to lead Empoleon here. I do take a moment to actually input my team because I forgot to hit accept, but it's not too much of a deal as you can see. CC, as you can see, CC also does take a moment to put up his team. For my sets, I do have a max attack adamant iron boulder. I have agility Enamorus. I have citrus berry Empoleon. Substitute special Kyurem with leftovers. Super specially bulky Rotom Heat with Assault Vest. And then a standard physically bulky among and a standard physically bulky Amoonguss. As we get into this first turn, you can see that I went ahead and led my Empoleon. As I said, I was expecting Screamtail. Instead, they led off Goldenga. I had made sure to do the calcs before. A Thunderbolt from Goldengo, modest choice specs did not kill my Empoleon. So I went ahead and set up Stealth Rocks. My opponent here does take a moment. I'm looking at his sets now. They do seem pretty decent, pretty standard across the board. Scarf Crocodile is an interesting choice, but it's not the most outlandish. My opponent taking a moment. They just Terra Fairy and Thunderbolt. The early Terra is a very interesting choice, especially since Golden is already. Like, I don't have a great matchup Empoleon into Goldengo, and this kind of just turned it in my favor. So as I made sure, I didn't even die from 2. The second one was going to proc my Citrus Berry. And I'm waiting here for a moment. I'm going to click Flash Cannon because it feels like, again, I just saw I'm not going to get knocked out. So Flash Cannon's a fairly safe move here. If they go into a resist, that's fine. I'm just looking to get chipped down at this point. But I feel like seeing how much Thunderbolt just did, they're probably just going to click Thunderbolt again. Alright, here comes up the Thunderbolt. It's going to bring me down to just barely alive. Honestly, I could have ran something like a Figgy Berry instead, but it just did its work. That's coming out. This is an uninvested Empoleon, and it did about 2/3. kind of made me regret not running investment in it, but I did need that bulk. Very rarely invest, I should say. It was some investment. At this point, I don't need to stay in. I believe I go into Rotom Heat here. This thing is kind of built to just survive Goldenga, so I figure it's fine. And then I'm going to threaten it with a KO. But instead, they went ahead and hard swapped into Crocodile, which I thought was an interesting choice. I really thought they were just going to click Thunderbolt there. But out comes Rotom Heats. This is Assault Vest Rotom Heats. I don't think it has any. I think it has like four EVs in special attack. So I'm not staying in. I've got Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, which are both immunities. I've got Shuttle Ball, and I've got Overheat. Overheat's the closest I've got to actually dealing damage, and it's not that favored towards me. So I end up going directly into, I believe it is Mungus. And out comes Rotom Heat. In comes Mungus. Now I've got, Mungus into Swalot. I can see that it's Black Sludge. I honestly have no idea what Swalot does to even threaten me. So I'm just going to click Spore here. It'll allow me to bring in one of my threats and threaten to sweep from there. That is mainly what this specific team is looking to do, is just to just get in either Enamorus, Boulder, or Kyurem, and just take over the game from there. So they go into Cinderace, which is not a bad play for the most part. Cinderace can be just a huge threat for me. If I didn't Spore there, it was looking a lot better for my opponent. But with that happening, I figure it's probably, I'm not staying in. I don't get anything for staying in. So I'm switching to Kyurem here. Most because I want to come in, set up a substitute, and just threaten things from behind that substitute. And you can see here, out with Among Us, in with Kyurem. And at this point, I'm just going to set up a substitute in front of this sleeping Cinderace. Alright. So as I said, once again, I'm clicking substitute here, because at that point, I can start clicking Earth Power in front of this guy, in front of the Cinderace. or if there's a swap in, it gives me the ability to hit something else there. In retrospect, this is a fairly risky play because if they woke up and clicked like high jump kick, Hiram was knocked out. But I felt fine doing that. And here's Hiram with his substitute. Sitting in front of me is Screamtail. Screamtail does something pretty well here actually. It's got Psychic Noise and Boom Burst, which can just go through the sub. If it can break sub, it does have the third type advantage here. Or as you see from my opponent, it's going to click Roar and just remove Hiram from the field. Honestly, if they stuck around and probably tried to out damage me, they probably would have done it. Because that is a very bulky Screamtail. That Flashkin did nothing. I'm back out with Empoleon here. At this point, I still had no idea what the Screamtail set was. I'm honestly okay with sacking Empoleon here just to get chip off. So I'm clicking Flashkin in here. It's just going to take some damage off from the Screamtail. Or something else. If a different Pokemon comes out, I'm just getting some chip on it. As you can see, my opponent clicks Wish. So I click the first cannon. It does a lot of damage. But in my mind, not nearly enough. I'm expecting him to click Protect here. But a lot of times, I like to try to keep my opponent honest with their moves. If they click Protect, that is fine. I'm going to make sure they do. Because if they don't, I'm going to punch them for it. So as you can see here, my opponent looks like they're looking to switch in, which makes sense because they don't have Protect. And I will just knock this thing out. So in comes the Electrode. Kind of surprised me, but it makes sense. Taking, that's a decent amount of damage, so a third of your HP, which comes and heals it fully up. Now sacking here really doesn't benefit me at all. Especially when I have something like Amoonguss in the back. Amoonguss can come in, this thing has no coverage for Amoonguss. So Amoonguss can come in, it can take a hit, not worry about it. The Volt Switch comes out, it does 0 damage. I forgot I actually did go into Rotom Heat, which still makes sense. At least that way I'm actually threatening Electrode. Instead of, now it's an Amoonguss move, an Electrode, they're not doing damage to either of them. They go into Swalot, which is interesting. At this point, I'm not sure why they did it. And I'm looking at Swalot, and I'm like, I have no idea what this thing has for me. So I'm just going to click Thunderbolt, just get some damage off on this thing. I'm not really heavily invested, but any chip is better than, nothing. Comes out, Polly does about a quarter. And I click Gastro Acid. At this point, I think it's fairly clear what my opponent's going to click here. I also know I outspeed, so I'm just going to Volt Switch and then go into Enamorus. Enamorus has that flying type, so the Earthquake I'm expecting to come out won't affect it. Takes a moment here. There's my Volt Switch. Which again, does a lot of damage. And now comes my Enamorus. Expecting the Earthquake, which here it comes. And I take a bit of a risk here, but I feel like it's fine. I think you still have two other main threats in the back. I could just click Earth Power here, knock out this wallet, and go about my day. But I'm taking a risk. I'm clicking Agility here. If this is specially invested Swalot, it does threaten to KO with a Sludge Bomb. My opponent tanks on this for a moment, which makes a ton of sense. I've got a huge threat in front of them right now. I do think that is a fairly safe move. I could be clicking Earth Power here. I could also, and if I do click Earth Power, you're taking no damage, and then you're threatening right back. However, with this agility, I'm now outspeeding Electrode. So what they click here doesn't really matter too much, but they do click Thunderbolt because I'm clicking Sludge Bomb. Sludge Bomb does just enough to knock this out. And at this point, I do have perfect coverage here. I've got Earth Power, I've got Sludge Bomb, and I've got Moonblast. Earth Power will go ahead and take care of Swalot and Cinderace. Sludge Bomb will get rid of Goldingo and Screamtail. And Moonblast will take care of Crocodile. And with me outspeeding Electrode, it does mean I'm going to be the fastest thing on this field. With that agility, I am now outspeeding Scarf Gold, Scarf Crook. The only thing that, and when I went back and did the calcs, the only thing that I wasn't going to one hit KO from 100 was Screamtail, but the chip I got down on it earlier did give me that opportunity to be able to take this out. Again, like, it wasn't a free win for me yet. I didn't know what items I had. If this was Choice Scarf and it woke up, Gunk Shark could have killed. So there's odds to all that, and I'm not going to get into the math. Honestly, at this point, I probably would have tried Crocodile. It doesn't matter at the end. But you saw I had poison coverage. You saw I had ground coverage. Only thing that doesn't die to those is Krook. But you can probably assume that the Enamorus has fairy coverage. But it's me we're talking about. I don't always run stab. My favorite set to this day is still Signal Beam, Ancient Power, Zapdos. No, no stab. No stab coverage. Uh, Pain Split? That's an interesting twist that they clicked there. I probably would have gone for like uh, Clear Smog. Like, it doesn't matter, they're not surviving. But you go for the Clear Smog, you get my speed boost, and then you send out Go and click Make It Rain. But again, doesn't matter too much. Click Make It Rain, I have Speed still, Sludge Bomb, takes out the gold. And finally showing off my fourth move with this Crocodile. Out comes the Moonblast. I don't think my opponent made any wrong choices per se playing this. I think I just had a very good matchup into this specific team. This game could have gone the complete opposite direction. Uh, if Gold was healthy and just start clicking Flash Cannon or Make It Rain, I could have just gotten like swooped by a Goldengo since my team was so steel weak. I still had answers in the form of Empoleon and Rotom, but even as you saw with Empoleon, that's still not a perfect answer, especially if that was not Terra Fairy. If it was Terra Water, I struggled a lot more. But at the end of the day, I did win 6-0 for my week 1. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'd like to welcome you to join me for my game with Ducky next Saturday. Thank you all, and have a great day.